to speak with you this morning and maybe help you declutter a little bit. And as you declutter, find joy at the bottom of your home somewhere. It's a great honor to be here with you and to give you some of practical tips on how to declutter. Before I get started, I want to thank Linda and the Grand River Council on Aging for such a beautiful invitation to speak to each and every one of you today. Although I wish we had this presentation done face to face, in order for me to get to know some of you better and just hear your stories. I'm thankful for Zoom and for the technology to be able to teach you some valuable information from the comfort of my place to your place. I am thankful for Zoom, and I'm thankful for technology because who knew a year ago that we would be here on a lockdown and have the time to declutter and have the resources at the at tip of our fingers, so we can learn it and practice it and live it in a way. So thank you again. My name is Rola, and along with my husband David, we have four beautiful children. Now, each one of them has a unique character and personality, especially my little guy that you see here on the left. Now, as you see, he is Mr. Independent and he likes to voice his opinion always. And here we are. I thought as I turned 40, it would be a great idea to take my family to the beach and have a family picture together. But my little guy on the left thought it was really torturing for him to sit, look at the beach, and have sand all around him, and yet not be able to touch anything. And on top of it all, to smile. So he was sure to give us this reaction. And I love this picture. I will hold it dearly. I will not declutter this picture. It stays with me because I love these little people in my life. But as Lucy has mentioned, David and I have been married for about 8 years, a little bit over than that, actually. And we've moved so many times. The first few times were really stressful because here I am trying to find the right place at the right price, and to do things on my checklist to get us to move. But I also had two little guys who were trying to help me unpack as I'm packing. So I would pack a box, and before I turned to get something, they were just digging, trying to get things out. And but in all seriousness, um, moving helped me to realize how physically, mentally, emotionally exhausting it could be. And I couldn't help but think, if this is stressful for me and my family right now, how much more stressful will it be for our aging parents and other seniors who are going to be making a move to either downsize or find another place in the near future? And if it is hard work, and we have a long checklist, how much more would it be for them? And at the same time, statistics were coming out providing that a late term move is the third most stressful event a senior will go through, and that ranks after either losing someone to death or getting sick themselves. So after experiencing death of a partner or experiencing sickness, moving is the third most stressful event in the life of a senior. We totally understood this stat. We knew the stress of it. So we began to desire to have a hub, a business that caters solely to seniors, a place for them where they can reach out and get help for all sort of moving related things, such as packing, or maybe even finding a carpet cleaner, to maybe helping them find somebody who will sell their items, to helping them downsize, and to the actual move. And that's why Move with Compassion was birthed. Now, the picture that you see is a picture that I took at the end of day after we helped the couple move from their 2,000 square foot home to a condo unit. And although this room looks staged, and I love staging, and right now, if you are looking at real estate, um, most homes sell as staged home, but this is actually not a staged home. This is just a beautiful picture of a room after a couple has decided to downsize, keep only what they need, and declutter all along with it, organize their items as well as move. So after 30 years, we moved this couple to this beautiful place, and now they were able to enjoy their life and to enjoy a place that didn't hold a lot of things that they didn't need, and move on and enjoy the new age, new era of their lives. But listen, I am here to help you downsize. Maybe you're not ready to move yet, and that's totally fine. But I'm here to help you learn some functional habits of how to make your place practical, beautiful, and safe. So, welcome to Decluttering Made Easy in 5 Simple Steps. I'm going to be reading those steps for you, and you can jot them down. Please don't worry, I'll take the time to explain each step for you, and we will have some time to recap them at the end. So the first step in decluttering is create a plan that works for you. Second step is gather few tools. Third step is sort, organize, and donate. This one is hard for some of us. Ask for help is number four. And number five is keep moving on. I'm going to leave that for a few seconds here. But you might be saying to yourself, I don't need to declutter. Everything that is in my home has purpose and value. And trust me, I've been there myself. I've turned a blind eye to things that are around me that is cluttering my space, stealing my joy and my peace, and said, I don't need to worry about this pile. I can live with it. So let's start with first defining the word clutter. Darlene gave us some awesome definition at the beginning, but I want to break it down a little bit more to you because sometimes we hold on to things and we don't understand that they're cluttering our lives, but as a matter of fact, they are. So what exactly is clutter? Things that pile up. Every home has a corner, maybe a closet in your home or a countertop where things pile up and tend to continue to pile up as we live our lives. For me and my family, that space is above our fridge because we have an open space above our fridge. And I just checked the other day for the sake of this presentation, just to find out what we have stored above our fridge. And here's our list. I found a toy that needed batteries, and we just put it there till we get to it, but we never did. I found our dishwasher manual that's been there for a couple of years now. Some pasta boxes that I bought and couldn't find a place in the pantry for, my kids' craft, and some other things that I'd really rather not mention to you on this Zoom call. But again, we tend to pile things up and forget about them. And as the pile gets bigger and bigger, it becomes really harder to find home for these things that are cluttering and collecting together. So things that pile up, things that no longer bring us happiness. I'm sure if you heard anything about decluttering, then you heard about Marie Kondo's favorite line, does it bring you joy? And clutter is collecting things like clothes, tools, maybe books that brought us joy once, but no longer serve this purpose, that were useful while maybe we were working or maybe while we were raising our children, But right now, we have no use for these items. And when we look at them, they don't bring us any joy. I have a very good example of a client of mine who was decluttering, and her children have left the home, and now they're adult children. But in her basement, she had her kids' easel board. And it's a chalk easel board that she's kept for years and hoping that she would pass it maybe to her grandkids. But now that she had the right mind to declutter, she wanted to give this easel board to me, knowing that I have four little children. Now, I was telling some of you, on the other side of the spectrum, I am a minimalist. So to me, I have to think twice before I bring something into my home. And sometimes I even, say no to things that might be useful. But after thinking about it, I brought the easel home and, put it in our basement where I homeschool my children. And I am so glad I did, because it served us as a chalkboard. It served us as a distraction for my 2-year-old who homeschools with us, but sometimes doesn't have something to do. And it serves as, a board where we practice our math, write our letters, and do other things. But if it wasn't for my client who decided to pass on this item to somebody else, I would have never experienced this joy. So let me pause here and just say this again. You might be holding on to something that is not useful to you, and you might be holding on to something that once was useful and once brought joy. But that very item that you're storing, that maybe is collecting dust or in your basement, might be a huge um, treasure for somebody else, might bring huge joy into somebody else's lives. So give with open hand. If it's not useful, somebody else will pick it up and use it, and you will get to experience that joy of seeing someone else happy. The third things that we have uh, to understand and know about clutter is that clutter are things that we have deferred making a decision on. I'm going to say that one more time. Things that we have deferred making a decision on. And that's the hardest thing to give away. And we've all been there. We see the pile, and we know that these things, um, you know, need to go away, but there are issues that prevent us from donating them, selling them, or giving them away. What could be some of the things that prevent someone from donating, from decluttering? Um, I'm gonna go over them one by one here. Guilt. Are you feeling the guilt already? I spent money on this guitar. Bought it maybe 20 years ago. I worked hard to buy it. I say to myself, I'll pick it one day and I'll play it again. But until then, I'm not ready to give my guitar away or donate it. The guilt of giving away gifts we received sometimes have such a strong hold on us. And it's the exact same reason why our homes become storage spaces instead of open, beautiful homes that we can live and have a peace of mind in. Um, the other thing is fear. This is something I deal with sometimes. I'm afraid I'm going to need this item tomorrow, a year from now, a couple of years from now. So fear holds us back from making decisions about decluttering. I'm going to tell you a story about myself. I was gifted an instant pot, and I'm not sure if you know what an instant pot does. It's this cool kitchen gadget that was designed to replace a few other kitchen gadgets like a crock pot. It can replace your pressure cooker, your rice cooker. It can replace even a steamer, or it can even replace your stove altogether. So anyway, I really wanted one, and I was gifted one, but I still had a rice cooker. And my husband kept telling me it's time to let go of the rice cooker because the Instant Pot can cook my rice just as wonderful and in less time. But I had a hard time letting it go because of the fear that, maybe one day I'll use both equipments at the same time. I'll be cooking my meat in an Instant Pot and I'll be cooking my rice in my rice cooker, and I can just get things done faster. Mind you, I can make a really awesome rice pot on the stove just as much, but fear kept me holding on to my rice cooker and not donating it, right? And like they say, fear is crippling and it prevents us from blessing people around us. But can I challenge you today to bless somebody with something that in your home that you've been holding on to um, because you're afraid you might need it one day and you haven't been using maybe in the last few months or even in the last year? Can I challenge you to put it away, in a donation box or giveaway box, and put it out of your sight for a few more weeks and see if you're gonna even miss this item that you're going to donate. But also, I want you to experience again the joy that it brings when you bless somebody with something that you have in your home, and knowing that the item will land with somebody who needs it most. We mistake things for relationships. We did talk a little bit about that before we started our Zoom meeting. That some of us as parents and grandparents hold on to everything that our grandchildren give us or that our children had while growing up. Sometimes we mistake things for relationships, and we're not able to let go the clutter of things because of the sentimental meaning they have to them. I'm going to tell you that if I kept every picture my children drew, and the oldest is only turning 7 in July, I would need probably few filing cabinets to hold those. And if I kept everything that my mom had, who passed away 20 years ago, I'll probably need double the size of a house I live in to hold these things. But we have to know that things are not relationships, and we all have cameras now or phones that even have a camera attached with it, and sometimes all I need is a picture of that item before I pass it on, or maybe just to keep few of those sentimentals and not let them crowd my space or take over my space. So three things that make us defer decisions: guilt, fear, and mistaken relation items for relationships. So now let's talk about why the clutter. Why spend that time? Why give away stuff? And what is the point? I would like to give you four reasons to declutter. Reason number one is safe space. Mobility is huge and important to us, and even to our aging population. Clutter is dangerous, and falls are a leading cause of injury related deaths among seniors who are the age of 65 and above. A disorganized home to the brim will have excess stuff and will increase that risk of having an accident while we live at home. By reducing clutter, we reduce the chance of falling, we reduce the chance of tripping or bumping into things. And again, as we age, mobility can change. There might be a need for a walker or a wheelchair at some point in our lives. If we have an open space that is clutter free, we are more likely able to enjoy our home, stay in our home safer that way. I want to talk a little bit here about furniture clutter, because we don't realize that furniture causes clutter as well. We think of it as, small pile of paper or clothing, but every season has a purpose and has a need. And maybe the furniture that we have right now served us well in the past, but not serving us well here. And what I mean by that is when I go, do a free estimate for seniors, I see that they have multiple maybe couches, multiple dining tables that were useful when their family was around and when they were raising the kids. But now these items are just causing clutter and causing the place to be safe. I will never forget helping Mrs. B one time, and she had a beautiful home and had it for 30 years, brought her kids into it, and lived and made a beautiful family in this home. But now Mrs. B had a health condition that required her to use a wheelchair, and we were brought in as a service provider to help her pick furniture that is functional and needed, and declutter other furniture so that she is able to walk safely around her, to maneuver safely around her home and use that wheelchair. And we ended up donating some stuff, selling some of it, giving some of it to her loved ones. But the space was a lot bigger and now more functional. So as you declutter, look around your home and rethink about the pieces of furniture that you have. Are they serving you well? Can you maybe repurpose them for something else? We see a lot of china hutches that once held teacups and beautiful china, but now that we're taking them somewhere else and the china maybe has been donated or given to a family member. The same hut can be repurposed for books, for linens, for other things that are more used, and makes the furniture more functional. Reason number two is downsizing. Now, I got this picture off the internet. I'm hoping this is nobody's home here, or I'll be sued and be in trouble. But we sometimes live in homes that are too big for us to upkeep or to maintain, and they create a burden for us. Now, with burden comes stress. With stress comes exhaustion, and it can lead to health challenges later on. But by downsizing and reducing the burden of a home, it becomes easier for us to enjoy things in life, to enjoy new habits, new maybe hobbies, sorry, new relationships, to even live a life that we've always wanted to live, but we were busy with children or busy with work or whatever season we were in. So downsizing is important, and unfortunately, when we talk to seniors, the number one reason they will find downsizing so incredibly hard is because they don't know what to do with their belongings. They don't know what to do with items that they have in their home. But if we start now, and if we start to declutter our homes, and if we start to think about downsizing in the future, if needed, or if the time comes and it will make our life easier, then downsizing will become natural for us. And we will be able to move from homes that are holding us down to living spaces that are more manageable and more enjoyable. The third reason for for decluttering is health and wellness. I love this quote, and I'm going to be reading it for you. When home feels out of control, no matter what the reason, unsettledness and anxiety can seep in, and then the chaos becomes internal as well as external. I'm going to read it one more time. When home feels out of control, no matter what the reason, unsettledness and anxiety can seep in, and then the chaos becomes internal and as well as external. Clutter disrupts our peace and keeps us from living in enjoyable, peaceful home. Often rooms that should be inviting and welcoming become storage spaces for little used or unwanted items. Not only that, but the items we store and we don't use collect dust dust mites and mold. And if we eliminate clutter, we can improve the air quality of the homes that we live in. We can improve the quality of our lives where we're living and enjoy that better. Um, I love this reason here, and I'm sure you will love it too. Saving money. Come on, I don't know anybody who would say no to saving money. And let me help you understand how decluttering can save money for you. Um, I know about myself, and I'm sure it happens to you. Sometimes we have an item that we're looking for. Maybe it's our kitchen scissors, or maybe our nail clippers, or maybe, something, a notepad, and we can't find it. And we go out and buy one more, right? And for us in our family, those are nail clippers. I've got one in every room right now because somehow they magically disappear under our bed, or under a couch or something like that. But if we have a clutter-free home, an organized home, then it's easier for us to find items and put them away where they belong. I love statistics. And while the numbers I'm going to share with you come directly from the States, I think they reflect us here very well. But did you know that 10% of households rent a storage unit? 10% of us have a storage unit somewhere outside of our home, right? 67% of self-storage rentals live in a single family homes with garages, and 33% of them also have basements. So on top of your garage and on top of your basement, we also have storage rentals happening at the same time. 52% of self-storage customers rent for a year or more. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I remember what I put in a storage a year from now, unless I've written it down somewhere, right? But if I put it away for a year, most likely we will not be using it again. Here is again a number coming from the States. 48,000. There are 48,000 storage units in the USA, and that's just more than their McDonald's and Starbucks combined. And I think that reflects us very well here. The average person spends about 88 American dollars on a storage room monthly. Now, I'm sure that cost is higher here because we're talking about American dollar, right? But we help people move things into storage, move things out of storage a lot. And many times while I have them on the phone and I say, can you list the items that you have in storage? I think, 90% of the time, people won't remember, or they will give me a short list. But when we get there, the list is more. But here's a way of saving money. Instead of storing it, instead of going out to get it again, maybe instead of having the need to reorganize so that we can make room for things that we don't need, how about we give it away, sell it, or donate it? I hope I have you motivated and excited, and I've given you enough reason for you to start looking through your house and your living space and start decluttering. So the first step is to create a plan and write it down. Now, this is a before or an after kitchen, but I'll tell you my plan for every night before I go to bed is to walk into the kitchen and clean up my kitchen, close it for the next day. So when I wake up and make breakfast for my family, I wake up to a clean kitchen. Now, here's my situation many of the nights as after I've put my children to bed. I walk into the kitchen, the sink is full of dishes, the dishwasher is ready to be run, the food is still on the counter, the pantry, is overflowing, things on the refrigerator, all the craft from the day, are sticking out, and my counters are full, and it's a mess. And I work for an hour. I love timing myself, so I'll work for an hour, and if I take a break and I look, many times the picture hasn't changed much for me. There's still a mess. There's still things to be put away and cleaned up, and I can easily walk and say, I'm going to leave this as is and tackle it tomorrow. but I've learned my lesson very well that if I wake up to a messy kitchen, I'm a grumpy person. So, for the sake of my loved ones and myself, I have a goal and I work towards this goal. It's written down for me to go to sleep with a clean kitchen. And that goal is written down for a reminder. But before you take a decluttering project, have a goal and write it down. I've given you many reasons of why to declutter. Maybe you would like to save money. Maybe you would like to live in a place that is open and easy to breathe in and doesn't collect dust and mold. Maybe you would like to downsize in the next couple of years. Maybe you would like just to have, a place where you have a peace of mind, or maybe you would just like to get around safely and not trip on something. Whatever your goal is, write it down and 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 commit to it. Because when we write a goal down, it helps us with few things. It helps us plan our journey. Right? No runner just says, "I am going to commit to running," and start at the beginning of the line and not know where they're running to. They have a goal and they work towards it. Sometimes decluttering is such a huge goal that we need to break it down into smaller, more manageable goals. The truth is, like I was saying about my kitchen, I cannot clean my house and declutter at the same time. But I have set a goal for my family, and that is for my home to be an oasis and a place inviting for me and people who walk into it to feel loved and to feel at ease. This is my big goal. I'm not there yet and nowhere close to being there. But my smaller goals are me committing 10 minutes of every day to decluttering an area of my house. Whether it be, my mismatched container drawers, or maybe my pantry, my cabinet under the bathroom sink, or our craft room. I spend 10 minutes and I declutter the area and get it done. Now, at the end of this presentation, I've given Linda a nice form where you can actually check off, certain things that you need to do room by room, and just set a 10-minute timer and go over room by room and see the things and declutter those, but have a goal and write it down. Having decluttering goals keep us motivated. I remember helping this gentleman tackle his garage one day, and the goal for him when we were hired was to be able to enter and exit through the garage and to get into their cars for safety. He didn't want to, go through the outside door anymore while there's snow on the ground, and it was a big job to tackle, and to help him find room for the items that were on the floor, or help him to reevaluate everything in his garage. But what kept us motivated is the goal that we had in mind, and his goal was, excuse me, and his goal was to be able to enter and exit through the garage. Writing down a goal keeps us focused and keeps us, humbled, and keeps us motivated to get it done. Knowing what you want can help us accomplish to get it done easier. I'm going to share this with you, and I want you to remember it as you declutter, is that decluttering is a life skill. It's never a one-time thing. When we learn to declutter, we also learn that very soon the place that we decluttered and emptied and made beautiful can collect clutter again, and the process can repeat itself, you know, uh, forever. But if I have a goal for my home to be a clutter-free home, then it helps me to, as I do the initial purge and as I get things out of my home, it helps me to know and remember that, okay, now this area has been cleaned, this area has been decluttered, and I would like to keep it that way, and it helps us stay focused. So let's say I got you motivated and now you have a room in mind and we're going to declutter this room. How about we gather supplies before we start that? And I want you to be able to have 6 bags or 6 boxes of these supplies. So we're going to have a box that is labeled put away in another room. We're going to have a box that is labeled donate. We're going to have a box that is going to be labeled sell online or garage sale, and trash and recycle. So we should have these boxes in pretty much every room that we have. And as we go through our rooms, we will put things in these boxes. Um, Also a timer, because we want to stay focused on our time and we want to be able to commit to that 10 minutes and not be overwhelmed. So we're going to stop at that time. And also those beautiful clear boxes. I don't know about you, but if I put something in a box, I most likely will forget what it is, especially if the boxes are stacked up. But these boxes help us to kind of understand and see where we at, and what things are stored in the boxes, and take it from there. So now that we have your items, um, we go and sort things out. Things to be thrown out are, I'm going to leave a list here, but go through it a little bit quicker. Broken toys, clothing items that are torn, damaged books, anything expired, food, sunscreen, makeup, old coupons, scratched CDs, old remotes, and dried out art supplies. Talking to a lot of the donation centers, they have expressed their discouragement in receiving items that the owner should have put in the garbage, but instead was dropped off at their place. And so before you donate the item, think twice. Is this something that is reusable, or is this something that I need to really put in my garbage and get rid of? Hazardous waste. This is a list of things that don't go in the garbage, they don't go in donation, they have to be disposed properly. And for your information, there is a hazardous waste drop-off day, and that is this Saturday, set by the city of Brantford. You can look that up. And things that we need to take there are thinners, batteries, sharp items, used oils, and pesticides, and anything that we cannot put in our garbage. Things to donate: clothing, as we know, shoes, accessories, towels and blankets make an excellent donations to animal shelters, and books, furniture, appliances, and such. Now, places to donate to, and I think that question was also expressed before we started, is now that everything is on lockdown, what do I do with the things that I'm decluttering, right? But here are some places that are accepting donation when they open. Salvation Army, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, the Habitat for Humanity, Value Village, and some of them will even offer you free pickup. So once you declutter, once you have a pile that is going to donation, call them, find out if they can do that. They will come to your house with their truck and offer you free pickup service. Um, all right. Now, as we go into our room by room, we will look for things that need to go to the trash, need to go to recycling, and we will have a box that says put away. Now, instead of running from one room to the other to put away things, I want you to put these items into one box. And after you looked at the room, and after you collected things that are out of place, at the end of the day, we'll put these items away and put them in their proper place. And if they don't have a proper place, here's where we need to stop and give an item a place that can always go back into it, or maybe put it in a designated area until we create a place for it. Um, And as we talked about this, these are phenomenal. Sometimes we need to put away our seasonal things. If you have Easter decorations still out, this is for you. Part of decluttering and part of having a clutter-free home is putting out our seasonal. I'm a big, you know, uh, person of, just putting it away. And let's learn from Walmart, and let's learn from stores, because what happens when you walk into a Walmart January 1st? You most likely will not find Christmas decoration unless they are, got extra and they want to put them on sale. But you will find, Valentine's. They've moved on to the next season. And in our homes, to have clutter-free homes, we need to do that and just put our seasonal items away. Linda, I don't see you, but I'm going to stop here and just see how we are doing in time. I'm just gonna scroll up and down.
Can we just wrap it up?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So as we wrap this up, I'll give you some pictures of decluttering, but surrounding yourselves with a highly qualified team of profession. Don't be afraid to ask for help in this area, and to even ask for help from loved ones, from your adult children who have certain items in your home, or even employing somebody like us to help you, and keep moving on. Now that you decluttered, now that you have the space, think twice about bringing something home. And before making a purchase, I want you to ask yourself, is this item really needed? Do I have a place to store it when I bring it home? How much extra work will this add to my life, to take care of it, to store it, to clean it? And am I buying this for the right reason? Do I need it, or do I just I'm feeling down today and things are not going well, so I'm bringing things into my house? So evaluate everything that's going to come to your house. Slow down that accumulation. Get into habits that will help you to be continue to be clutter free, whether closing down your kitchen at the end of the day, putting things away as soon as you grab them, which is important. But always be in the mindset of decluttering, because it's not a one-time thing. So as we close, I want to recap the items that we've talked about. Create a plan that works for you. Gather a few tools, and those are boxes and timer to help you get going. Sort, organize, and donate. Ask for help, and keep moving on. And then I am done at this presentation. I hope you've got few sparks in your mind of things that it is time to say goodbye to. And I assure you, as you start doing this process, and as you give with open hands, that things are gonna fall into your lap, blessing, joy, and peace of mind, because we cannot go on keeping things that we don't need, but only things that bring us joy and bring us happiness. Thank you for your time. And Linda, thank you. I'm gonna stop sharing now, and maybe give you time to ask me about things we said or things we haven't been able